Okay, in this video we are going to talk about how to stop reverting back to old ways. But for me to explain this, I'm going to put it in the context of my fitness journey. But it can be used in any context, across any area in your life. It's the same psychology, it's just a different high and low. So, for example, this is us reverting back to our old ways. We bring ourselves up to a level in which we want to achieve, and most of the time we've achieved this level before and we feel comfortable here. So for me, my fitness journey, my highest self, I was probably about like 9 stone. And I'm going to use weight as a data point, but I don't ever think that weight should define how fit and healthy you are. But for this context, I'm just going to use weight. It all should always be about how you feel, not what you say on the scales. So the highest version of myself would be fit, healthy, and around 9 stone. The lowest version of myself would be unfit, unhealthy, inactive, and I would probably be about 13.5 stone. So this was the point in which I started to feel disgusted with myself. This is the point where I started to feel happy with myself. And then in between we have the average, which 9 stone is probably about 10.5, 11 stone would be like the average of this cycle. So this is over a long period of time. So this could be like 10 years ago, and then I got to this stage, and then I would come back down and revisit this stage and be like, right, fuck, I need to do something about it. Let's go back up to this stage. Oh, I'm happy here. Let's go back to old ways and, you know, have those chocolate biscuits, have these things. Oh, and I'm back down to 13.5 stone. But this was my pain point. This was my point where I'm like, right, fuck, I've got to this stage again. Let's do something about it. And then I would do something about it, and I would be happy with myself again, and then it would be bringing back down to this stage. So this is how we break this cycle. We have to go into an area that feels uncomfortable. This area here, we have to understand why we come back down to this area. So this is us consciously being aware of like what we are trying to do. So this growth up to here, okay, we've got to this level down here and we want to come back up here. So we've consciously become aware of, okay, we're not happy here, let's go back to up here. So we make conscious effort to bring ourselves back up to here. That conscious effort might look like eating a better diet, doing more exercise, being more active, being kinder to ourselves. And then we get to here, and then this version of ourselves is like, oh, hang on a minute, what are you doing all the way up there? You don't belong up there, you belong down here, because this is who you are. This is the lowest version of yourself, and we need to bring you back down to here. So the unconscious then comes into play. Unconsciously, we are self-sabotaging ourselves by feeding ourselves the food by, oh, it's okay if I miss a workout today. Oh, it's okay, it's only been a week. Oh, it's only been a month. And then all of a sudden, we are back down here. So this version of yourself is where we need to bring the attention. Who is here and why are they here? And this involves digging deeper into yourself, because this version of yourself has come from some sort of trauma. For me, that trauma come from my childhood. And trauma doesn't have to be or look extreme. It doesn't have to be violence, aggression, like something really seriously bad happening to you. Trauma could be like a breakup between parents. Trauma could be witnessing something when you were younger that you didn't really consciously become aware of, but it's still there deep down in your unconscious mind. So let's just say my trauma, for example, was like abandonment issues, self-worth issues, like guilt of like believing things were my fault. So all of these things I've had to sit with. I've had to sit with why they were there, where they come from, how they've arrived, what forms they show themselves in, and I've had to then bring myself to this person, the higher version of myself, and be like, okay, it's okay to have these things, but this is who we are. We are not these, we are this. And once we start to address these issues and face them, we can then start to make progress. But without addressing these issues, we are always going to revert back to our old ways. But once we've addressed these issues, we can start to make progress. And this is what progress looks like. So, again, I'll bring it back to the context of my fitness journey. Like before, the lowest version of myself, the floor of what I would allow myself to get to, was 13.5 stone. The highest version of myself was 9 stone. So let's just say this is 9 stone and this is 13.5 stone. Because I've done the inner work, the deep shit, I can now be like, I'm never going to go back there, because that is not who I am. That is not what my worth is. And I'm going to come back up to here. So what might have been 9 stone, this doesn't really work well with the weight. This doesn't really work well with the weight, because what I don't want to start doing is keep losing weight. What this represents is, okay, I've got to 9 stone. Okay, let's build muscle. I've never built muscle before. So this is a new high. So this was, first of all, it was about losing weight. Now, it's okay, I'm at a nice, healthy weight. I feel good. I feel strong. What I want to do now is I want to go somewhere I've never been, because this was before the ceiling. I never went above this ceiling. Now, I've gone above this ceiling. I've gone, okay, I'm 9 stone. That's good. I haven't reverted back to old ways. Like, in the past, this would have reverted back to old ways, but I've now gone back, but I've now gone to new heights. Okay, I'm going to do things I've never done before, and these are the things where progress happens, because you've never been here before, so you don't know what's coming, but you're growing and developing and moving forwards. And then the lows, they will still come. You will still have lows. They don't go away, but they go to higher heights. So 9 stone, okay, let's just use this as 10 stone. 10 stone is the highest. Okay, this 10 stone is now the lowest. I've changed this 13.5 stone I had to get to then make conscious effort to go and change myself again, to now 10 stone. Fuck, if I'm at 10 stone, I'm not happy. Let's start moving and let's start to make growth. Like, so you will still have the ups and the downs, but the downs, you've lifted your hygiene standard. You've lifted the standard in which you will accept. So the standard I will no longer accept, that is like impossible for me to get to now. 13.5 stone, that doesn't even exist in my head now. I will never, ever be that weight again. Again, it's not about weight, it's just I'm using the weight as a context. So now, like, if I get to 10 stone, okay, why have I reverted back to this? What's changed? And I might never get to 10 stone, but the whole point of it is understanding why we come down here. And it's almost like sometimes it could be like a little rest. Okay, we've made this massive progress, we've built this muscle, we've got here, let's take a few days to chill, a few months to chill. Let's have the summer, enjoy the summer. Okay, I might have like an ice cream because it's a hot day. And then no guilt, no shame, but we have reduced our level of progress or our maintenance or whatever it is. And then we come back up again and we go again. So this will always be an up and down, but it will be in the trajectory of continuous growth. The same thing can happen if we don't address these issues and we continue along this path. What actually could happen is the version of ourselves that was high and the version of ourselves that was low could switch round, and the progress would not be on an upwards trajectory but on a downwards trajectory, and our floor gets broken and we get to a lower level of ourselves, and then that high that we once was could never be reached again, and we could come down to here. So there's three ways to look at it. We can stay the same, we can not address things and keep going, we could stay the same, not address things and go downwards, or we could actually address things and start to do the deep inner work to then progress and move further up the line. This life is not meant to be lived up here, and life is not meant to be lived down here. We visit these places and then we maintain them through the average. But we have to understand what our hygiene standards are and then look to break these ceilings to new heights. I hope this has made a little bit of sense. I hope this has helped in some sort of way. This, like I said, doesn't have to be used in the context of fitness. It can be the same for like building wealth, like £3,000 a month could be like, oh my god, I'm earning £3,000 a month, but when I get to like £1,000, I'm like, oh shit, I need to start earning more money. It can be used in like loads of different contexts, but for this context I wanted to explain my journey. This is how we stop reverting back to old ways. You have to address your lows, bring them to the surface, and then we can make progress. I hope this video has helped. See you in the next one.